We did it. It's like halfway through, guys. We're almost done. We're almost done. We are almost done with this week. Isn't it bad that we just, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I do it. I don't know. Like, oh, man, I can't wait till this week is over. I can't wait till this week is over. That's no good. That's no way to live. That's no way to live. Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's doing good out there. I hope you're having a nice Wednesday so far. We're getting there. We're getting there. And talk a little bit today about Joe Kent because that's in the news, right? A lot of stuff going around about that. I was actually just sitting here kind of doing a little research on it. And then I noticed I was supposed to be live in like 2 minutes or something. I got to get my stuff together. Oh, man. Oh, man. So just know out there that
we love you all. Love you.
We do. We love you guys. We love you all, just like Trump said. Just like Trump said. So like you're supposed to do on the beginning of these things, hey, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Check out our Substack, our store, our website for more information and links. MagAmericans.com. Now, DHS Secretary Christine out. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, which apparently is his whole first name, Mark Wayne Mullen, in. I don't really like it. I don't really like it. And I'll tell you why. This is for the lefties out there who watch, the ones who sit way in the back and only come out once in a while for a vague insult or a vulgar comment before they slither back into the shadows. How dramatic. I think he's a bad choice to lead. I base that on temperament. The temperament that I saw when he sat in a Senate hearing and challenged the witness to a fight from the Senate. I mean,
worst work states. I sure remember working pretty hard and long hours. Pretends like he's self-made. What a clown. Fraud. Always has
so he's reading, I guess, insults from Labor leader Sean O'Brien that was in there to testify in front of the Senate.
been, always will be. Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me. Any place, anytime, cowboy. Sir, this is a time, this is a place. If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big
No,
guy.
no, stop it.
Is that your solution every
Oh, no, no, sit down.
This-
Sit down. Okay. You know, you're
This is a sitting senator. I know, but I mean, come on. This is the sitting senator of the United States of America.
a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
All right.
Can I respond? Mr.
Hold
Chairman?
it. Hold it. If
Hold
we
on.
can't, no,
This is
I have
what
the
he
mic.
said.
I'm sorry.
This is
Hold
what
it.
he said.
You'll have your time.
Okay.
Can I respond?
Oh, no, you can't. This is a hearing. And God knows the American people have enough of contempt for Congress. Let's not
I don't
make
like
it worse.
thugs and
You-
bullies.
You have,
And that's
you
what-
have
I don't
the
like
mic.
you because you
Hold
just
it.
described yourself.
Hold it. You have the mic.
Yeah.
You have time.
All right.
Make your statement.
Then let's do this, because I did challenge you and I accepted your challenge and you went quiet.
No, I didn't go quiet. I was.
Hold on.
You challenged me to a cage match,
No,
acting like a
sir.
12-year-old schoolyard
Hold
bully.
it. Excuse me.
Hold on.
Hold it. No,
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. This temperament is a little. Hang on, we'll get there. I know what you're thinking. You just wait just a darn second there. Just one.
excuse me. I have the
I
mic.
will say exactly.
Senator
what you
Mullen,
said.
I have the mic. You have questions on any economic issues, anything that said, go for it. We're not here to talk about physical abuse.
You brought.
We're not
him
talking
in.
about, of course I
And,
did.
and let me show you his hearing, because I want to expose this thug to who he is. And
Could you not point at me? That's disrespectful.
I don't care about respecting you at all. I
don't
respect
respect you at all.
The guy, this is what I'm talking about. Not necessarily just his temperament, but just the way that he's so easily triggered into reactions. That guy's toying with him. Don't point at me. That's disrespectful. And you got him to stop and respond to that stupid comment instead of just continuing on.
And
Could you not point at me? That's disrespectful.
I don't care about respecting you at all. I
don't
people that
respect you at all.
respect. So
All right, hold it.
let me
Hold it. No,
You're one of
Yeah,
100
hold it.
of the most
Hold
elite
it,
people.
please.
Act it.
please. All right? This is excuse me.
Mhm.
This is a hearing to discuss economic issues. All right? If you have questions for Mr. O'Brien or anybody else on what he has said, go for it.
I mean-
But we're not here to talk about fights or
I'm-
anything else.
Now, pull this back up. Hey, bear with me. I produced this whole thing all by myself, guys. I'm all by myself. So I know that me saying that his temperament is enough reason for me not to want him to lead that department. I like the firebrand. I like that kind of stuff. So like, just understand that's all I need to see. Okay. Not necessarily, this is the difference here now. All right, listen. Not necessarily in my mind to eliminate him. Like that doesn't eliminate him from contention for the position, just an outburst here or there. He's had a couple like that. Maybe not that bad, but a couple. That doesn't necessarily eliminate him, but it does tell me that there must be someone better out there for the position, at least for that position. I know people snap all the time. People break from the pressure. Been there myself. We all have. We've all been there. We've all had those moments where we say something that we regret. Feels good just to spit it out to somebody. There's liberals and the lefties out there in the back of the chat watching right now. They know they live their life that way. So that's not necessary to eliminate them. It shouldn't eliminate them. I just think there's better choices out there. To play devil's advocate on myself, Mullen is just the type of person I think we should have serving in Congress. Blue collar, self-made men. Men who know the people because they come from the people, not from some silver spoon, whatever. Insulated from the real world, grow up rich, go right to Harvard, become a lawyer, get into the government, start making laws that apparently, like in Virginia, don't even apply to the people that write them anymore. These gun laws they just passed in Virginia, where they exempted the sitting Congress from it. Isn't that tyranny? Isn't that tyranny? Personally, I'd rather not pick from Congress at all. We need everybody in there we can get. So that's where my position is. I don't necessarily agree with Trump on his pick. I don't think it disqualifies him, nor should anyone else. But, it's a little tricky. It's a little tricky. And then there's Joe Kent. Good old Joe Kent. Let's pull this thing up. Joe Kent resigns in protest. We're going to talk about some other stuff too. We got to talk about Starbucks. We got to talk about what happened on the DC Naval Yard last night. We got to talk about a bunch of stuff. But first, we're going to talk about this. I got to put on the old glasses to read this one. I almost put myself in the eyeball with them. That's no good. You can't be doing that. Let's share this so you guys can see it too. I want you to see it too. Pull this up there. Think. I don't know. You probably can't. I'm sure you can't read that. I can't get it any bigger, but or maybe I can. No. Well, here we go. I'm going to read this real quick here. President Trump. This is the letter from the National Director of Intelligence Counterterrorism Center, Joe Kent. After much reflection, I have decided to resign from my position as director of the National Counterterrorism Center effective today. I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. I support the values and the foreign policies that you campaigned on in 2016, 20, and 24, which you enacted in your first term. Until June of 2025, you understood that the wars in the Middle East were a trap that robbed Americans of the precious lives and our patriots and depleted the wealth and prosperity of our nation. In your first administration, you understood better than any modern president how to decisively apply military power without getting us drawn into never-ending wars. You demonstrated this by killing Soleimani and by defeating ISIS. Early in this administration, high-ranking Israel officials and influential members of the American media deployed a misinformation campaign that wholly undermined your America First platform and sowed pro-war sentiments to encourage a war with Iran. This echo chamber was used to deceive you into believing that Iran posed an imminent threat to the United States, and should you strike now, there was a clear path to a swift victory. This was a lie, and is the same tactic the Israelis used to draw us into the disastrous war that cost our nation the lives of thousands of our best men and women. We cannot make this mistake again. As a veteran who deployed to combat 11 times, and as a Gold Star husband who lost my beloved wife Shannon in a war manufactured by Israel, I cannot support sending the next generation off to fight and die in a war that serves no benefit to the American people nor justifies the cost of American lives. I pray you will reflect upon what we are doing in Iran and who we are doing it for. The time for bold action is now. You can reverse course and chart a new path for our nation, or you can allow us to slip further toward decline and chaos. You hold the cards. It was a great honor to serve in your administration and to serve our great nation. Hmm. 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 So Joe Kent resigned in protest as the national director, or excuse me, the director of the National Counterterrorism Center. Originally, I had to say, like, who? Who? And then I saw his face. I'm like, oh, I know that. I remember that guy from something. I'm not sure what, but I remember that guy. So anyway, it doesn't really matter, but it's hard to keep track of it all. It really is impossible to do so and live any kind of life. Anyway, Joe Kent resigned in protest with a damaging letter. So a senior intel officer saying that the U.S. entered a war under false pretenses, that Israel got us into Iraq, and that they fooled President Trump into fighting another Middle Eastern war. Trump. They fooled Trump. I don't think that's happening. I know I sound like just a blind MAGA guy when I say that, but I just don't think that's what's happening. I think this letter was damaging to America. I think it's going to fracture us even more over what the left wants us to be fractured over, which is Israel. The right as well. Here we are fighting over Israel again. Now, if you haven't noticed, those that want to hear, oh, you know what? It's up there. Those that want to tear the conservative movement apart have decided Israel will be what they divide us with. Or at least they are trying. What we have to do is not hold tightly to our opinions pro or anti-Israel. We can't just hold tightly to those and like hunker down and fight the winds while we hold on to that. We need to be able to let go of some things. You need to be able to say, you know what? This story doesn't really affect me. I don't really care. It affects people and all that stuff. It's dramatic, I get it, all that, but it doesn't really affect us personally. There's other things that are more important, right? So this unbelievably irresponsible letter will fracture public trust. It'll be a wonderful tool for the Democrats to use in the midterms, but the Republicans, who have done almost nothing to further the MAGA agenda, they haven't codified DOGE, they haven't codified any executive orders, they haven't passed the SAVE Act. What is Congress doing exactly? You know what they're doing? They're stalling. They're stalling for the midterms. I have no doubt in my mind that the establishment on the right wants the Democrats to take power in the midterms. They want a leash around Trump's agenda. If we win the midterms, there's no more excuses. Normally, I wouldn't tie the midterms into these kind of issues, but I mean, it is important. It does affect the elections. And because of this letter, our allies may doubt us, may sow doubt within our own allies. Have no doubt that our enemies are going to exploit it for sure. There's a case, I think, to be made of treason. Is it not aid and comfort to Iran? I'm not saying that letter doesn't have some truth in it. I'm not Israel blind, 100% for Israel. I'm for America. I'm not for any other country. Israel's cool and everything. I'm not saying there isn't some truth in that letter, but there is one thing that isn't there. The same thing that almost always seems to be missing from accusations like this. It's an important thing. Evidence. Evidence. Or is this just like an attention grab? Where's the evidence? Undoubtedly, there'll be a Tucker Carlson interview coming up soon. Sure, the ratings will be through the roof. Kent happens to be a good friend of Tucker's. They became friends back in, I think, 2021 because Kent was on his show over and over again, numerous times, numerous appearances on Tucker's show. And there have been allegations. There's that word again. Allegations. So again, allegations. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, the left throws all these allegations at the right and blah, 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 and without any facts, and then turn around and throw allegations back at the left without any facts. I don't have any facts to back this up. There's just a lot of allegations out there that Kent's leaked before. That he was excluded from some briefings because of that fact. Well, there's allegations that he's leaked to Tucker in the past. Speaking of Tucker Carlson. Speaking of Tucker Carlson, where's that short video here real quick? That whole situation is weird. I guess he's saying he's being investigated by the CIA. I want to play this video. It's important that we watch it because we want to see what he has to say. I don't have anything against Tucker. I've liked him in the past. I don't pay attention to all these soap opera things that go on between the conservatives and the neocons and the MAGA and all these different factions. I don't care. Just don't care. Let's see what Tucker had to say about.
So the other day I found out that the CIA is preparing some kind of criminal referral against me, a crime report to the Department of Justice on the basis of a supposed crime I committed. What's that crime? Well,
ask yourself how he found out that they were preparing that. That's kind of important.
Talking to people in Iran before the war. They read my texts. So the crime under consideration apparently would be the Foreign Agent Act or something like that, acting as an agent of a foreign power. And I don't expect this to go anywhere. I'm not too worried about an actual criminal case against me for a bunch of reasons. One, I'm not an agent of a foreign power. Unlike a lot of people commenting on U.S. politics and global affairs, I have only one loyalty, and that's the United States, and have never acted against it. Its interests are the only interests I care about because I'm from here and I have a lot of kids. So that's not a concern. I've also never taken money from anybody. Don't need it, don't want it. And that's provable. And moreover, it's my job to talk to everybody all the time and try and figure out what's happening around the world. That's literally what I do for a living. And I'm not going to stop doing that. Nor should I don't think. I'm also an American. I can talk to anybody. I have no secrets to divulge. So legally, I think the case is ludicrous, and I doubt it'll even become a case. I'm bringing this up for a couple of reasons, though, and they're pretty obvious. One is that countries tend to become more authoritarian in wartime. It's just the nature of war. People are dying. The stakes are high. People's emotions have risen to a very high point, to a crescendo.
Yeah,
and so there's much less tolerance for any kind of dissent in the homeland. The irony, of course, is the United States fights wars on behalf of freedom, but there's always less of it here in our country during war. So that's a widely recognized phenomenon, and it's likely to happen now too. Another point to make that is worth knowing is that the USIC, the intelligence agency, spy on Americans. Now, you probably knew that, and it's been revealed a lot, including by Julian Assange and Ed Snowden, both of whom were threatened with death for revealing it, but everyone knows. But it's probably a little more widespread than most people understand. And it's outrageous. There's no justification for your government, which you own, you're a shareholder in it, you pay for it, to be violating your privacy like this. But it happens all the time. And in fact, one of the reasons that CIA or people within CIA, just to be clear, it's a huge, sprawling, disconnected agency. What it does in a specific case doesn't represent what everybody in the building thinks, but there are some people who are mad at me for my views about Israel. And they have some latitude. And one of the reasons they pass on criminal complaints, in effect, to law enforcement is to justify warrants for spying on Americans. So that is an absolutely real thing. But the main reason they do it is to leak the existence of the investigation, such as it is, to the media, and then humiliate and terrify the subjects of this op. And that's, of course, happened to me repeatedly, many times, including in famously 2021, when I was still at Fox News and trying to set up an interview with Vladimir Putin. And the NSA, I heard from someone there, had grabbed my text messages with an American citizen and had leaked them to news outlets. Those texts were basically my attempts to set up an interview with the foreign head of state, and they leaked them to the New York Times in order to stop the interview, which they successfully did, by the way. And they admitted that they were spying on me. This is not a fantasy. It actually happened. They did it again 2 years later. My second attempt to get a Putin interview, I managed to get it anyway, and they've done it since. And so when you get a call from a reporter who knows the contents of your texts, it's pretty clear something's going on. None of this, in my judgment, as of right now, is a huge threat to me. So I'm not making this video to complain about it or whine or ask you to send me money because I'm under attack. I'm saying it because it's true, and you should know what your own government is doing, and you should know what the stakes are. And you should know that a lot of what happens in this country that affects outcomes happens behind the scenes. Some of it is legal, some of it is not, including what I'm describing now. But it has an effect. And the intel agencies, again, not everyone in the intel agencies, because there are decent, hardworking Americans who work in the intel agencies are Americans, just like there are decent, hardworking Americans who work at the DMV. But there are also people with agendas and grudges and no sense of restraint who are happy to misuse the power they have granted them by our elaborate secrecy laws to hurt fellow Americans for ideological reasons. That is entirely real. That's the story of Russiagate. And it's likely that things like that will begin to happen at greater scale now. So you should just know that going forward. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Tucker may be in a little bit of trouble, though oftentimes those situations are handled quietly outside of the public eye. But it seems that Tucker put out a video saying that his phone was tapped by the CIA. So the CIA was tapping his phone. Isn't it more likely, I'm just thinking outside the box here, isn't it more likely that our government was monitoring Iranian assets and Tucker was speaking to them and got caught up that way? I mean, don't get me wrong, 100% I believe the government would spy on any single one of us for any reason that they wanted to. I am by no means saying I don't believe that the government would spy on him. 100% they would. It just seems like in this situation, it would be more likely that they were looking at Iranian assets and not Tucker Carlson. And that's what I want our government to be doing. I want our government to be monitoring these people, these Iranians and all these foreign assets and whatever. I want them to be, that's what they're supposed to be doing. It is interesting that after seeing whatever they saw there, that the DOJ is reportedly preparing a criminal complaint against him based on CIA intelligence. I wonder what that complaint could have in it. That's pretty interesting. Hold. Don't decide yet. Just hold. This could be anything. This could be the government totally overreaching and lying and doing what they do so very often, or this could be Tucker Carlson on the other end being a traitor. I mean, it could be anything. This could be anything. And oftentimes we want to hold in those situations because we're going to make the wrong decision. Oh, I'm over here talking. I don't even have my face on the screen. Silly me. It's just as interesting to me that Tucker said that he found out the other day that the CIA was preparing a criminal referral against him to submit to the Department of Justice. It stems from his communications, specifically his text messages with people in Iran before the recent war escalation began. He claimed the CIA had accused and read those private texts and that the potential charge relates to acting as an unregistered foreign agent under the Foreign Agents Registration Act, FARA. How did Tucker find out? How did he find out? It's likely that he was tipped off through like private, back channel, shady, whatever people, sources. Multiple news outlets, including Newsweek, The Guardian, Yahoo. That's a drink, silly. And others are reporting that his claims, Tucker's claims, but they're noting that they could not independently verify the existence of any such referral or investigation. The DOJ and CIA have also not publicly confirmed anything. Interesting that he would know. Again, Joe Kent has been accused of leaking to Tucker before. Was he duped into doing it again? This the other day, Tucker reported that he had intel that Mossad was in Saudi Arabia and Qatar trying to plant bombs. I'm going to play that real quick. This is a short one.
Now, that wasn't a risk from the Israeli standpoint. That was the point. That was the point. They wanted to diminish the Gulf, and in 2 days they have. And I think anyone who likes decency and order and cleanliness is hoping that the Gulf will recover. The Gulf is not a threat to us. We have military bases in these countries. These are some of our closest allies. All of them are closer allies than Israel, by far. They're our friends, but they've been really hurt. And in a place like Dubai, which is basically part of a country, it's an emirate within the United Arab Emirates, but it's also it's a luxury brand, basically. People go to Dubai because it's beautiful and rich and clean, and above all, because it's safe and orderly. It's got the busiest airport in the world. You start seeing video on Instagram of smoke in the Dubai airport, and you're like, I think I'm going to Cabo this year. Oh, sorry, drug cartels.
Right.
Whatever. Maybe you go to Sedona this year. It really, really hurts these countries. And Israel wanted to hurt these countries. That's the point. Wanted to hurt these countries. Wanted to sow chaos and disorder because they are rivals of Israel. So it's probably hasn't been reported, but it's a fact that last night in Qatar and Saudi Arabia, authorities arrested Mossad agents planning on committing bombings in those countries. Now, that's weird. That doesn't make any sense. Why would the Israelis be committing bombings in two Gulf countries, which are also being attacked by Iran? Aren't they on the same side? No. Israel wants to hurt Iran and Qatar and UAE and Saudi and Bahrain and Oman and Kuwait. And they've succeeded.
So he's pushing that Israel wants to hurt all those countries, and he's reporting that Mossad agents, Israel agents, went to those countries to plant bombs and pretend that they were Hezbollah. But Saudi and Arabia and Qatar have publicly denied Tucker's news about Mossad, saying it wasn't Mossad. But he pushed that it was Israel when it wasn't. So I don't know, where did he get that information? Was that leaked information? Some people are saying that Trump's playing Tucker, giving him fake information. Who knows? Guess what? None of us know. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to figure it out. I know Joe Kent's been accused of leaking to Tucker before. Was he duped? Trump put this post out. Share that one the other day. He reposted Joe Kent's comment from 2020 that said we should not sit and wait for the next attack, wipe Iran's ballistic capability out, and get our troops out of Iraq. They are our only targets now. But he's anti. Wait, what? But I thought he was anti. Do that.
Like that's
Here's him just not too long before that on the Sean Ryan show.
they're still registering for the draft, aren't they? Like that's the logical conclusion to the direction that we're heading in right now, unless we make some serious changes.
I mean, I've already heard rumors that Fifth Group is going to be sending guys to Iraq because of the escalated situation with Iran now.
Yeah. I mean, most Americans aren't aware of it. Our troops in Iraq and Syria have been attacked 150 plus times by Iranian proxies. And when we say Iranian proxies, we got to be clear on what that is. That's the Iraqi government that we pay. Because after the Iraqi military, we spent $2 trillion on, surrendered to ISIS, we had to go back in there in very short order and stand the military back up again. And guess who filled the breach? The Shia militias controlled by Iran did. And the Iraqi government's controlled by Iran. So they're still registering for the draft, aren't they? Like that's
What's going on? Where's this guy stand? It seems to me he's all over the place. So I don't know. That the bottom line when it comes to that stuff is we don't know. Was he forced to resign? Who knows? We don't know. There are reports that Trump wanted him gone 9 months ago, but Gabbard failed to fire him. What's the bottom line? Well, what's the bottom line? The bottom line is Joe Kent provided no evidence, only accusations. Tucker provided no evidence, only accusations, some of which have been already proven false. So where do we go from here? Nowhere. Nowhere. We hold. This is not an important issue. It's a distraction. I guess this just showed you it wasn't long ago where Joe Kent was saying we needed to go into Iran. It's nothing new. Kent's been all over the map. Much like countless other politicians and government bureaucrats, his principles move and sway with the political winds. So again, what are we to do? We're to hold on to your principles. The truth will come out. It will come out. And in the meantime, we have bigger issues. So let's remember that. Let's get to some comments here. Obama sent money to Iran. Trump sends bombs. It's true. You ain't wrong. You're not wrong. I'm very proud of Trump for trying to rid the world of the number one state sponsor of terror. Yep. I agree. I mean, it's not a bad thing. You got to dance around, you got to do it legal. Got to be legal about it. But I don't think we should just be going around running roughshod on countries either.
Stupid looking beard.
Okay, all right. That one made the cut for some. Okay, all right, that's fine. Oh, triggered by a beard, LOL. You're not wrong. I think you might have been. Here's a nice, very intelligent and eloquent comment that clearly explains the positions of the person who wrote it. You are a disgrace. You are a disgrace. Who am I a disgrace to? Am I a disgrace to the left? I'm cool with that. I'll take it. Could we be so lucky as to have a blue wave in November and possibly, dare I say, bring justice against the MAGA fascists? I don't know. We'll see. Typically, it goes that way. The odds are in the left's favor. That's just the way these things usually go. However, I would inquire, what does justice against the MAGA fascists look like to you? I would be curious to know that. Mr. Good Citizen, blindly following MAGA and Trump is delusional, and I don't live by supporting our president because he is president. I don't live by supporting our president because he is president. No, I mean, no, there's some, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Mr. Good Citizen, blindly following MAGA and Trump. We're not really. I mean, there's some people out there doing that for sure. There's some on the left that do that. There's some on the right that do that. Whatever. But no one here, I can speak for me. No one here is blindly following MAGA or Trump. It just so happens that those values and principles line up well with my personal values and principles. And I believe that Trump's doing the right thing almost all the time, as far as I agree with what he's doing and his policies and such. So I'm very happy with what he's done so far. That doesn't mean that I'm blindly following him. It just means that he aligns well with some of my own policies and principles that I find important in my life. So it's easy for the left to say, oh, they're just blindly following, they're a cult, they're brainwashed, they're whatever. The point is of all those insults is to dismiss the other side so that you no longer have to pay attention to anything that they say, because oftentimes what they say makes a little bit of sense. And then you might start thinking on your own, and they can't have that. We cannot have that. I did get, speaking of more important issues, Libs of TikTok is reporting, what the F? Video obtained by NYP, New York Post, shows Bobby Pulido, a Democrat candidate for a Texas state house, starring in a music video where he dresses as a woman and a pervert who masturbates in public. Oh, that's just great. We should totally elect people like that to public office. I just love that idea. There is a picture of him there. And then here we go. I hope I don't hear the copyright for this. Maybe I should just sing along. Okay, what we have here is, I messed up. I went too far ahead. What we have here is a woman sitting next to what appears to be a man who is, doing something under the covers there. Here comes the candidate. Oh, there we go again. He looks excited. So what's happening now? All right. I don't know why that's newsworthy. I just thought it was slightly interesting. Wow. Running for, elect this guy, right? Like, elect that dude. Oh, that's appropriate. Unsea juice. I need some unsea juice. That's pretty funny. Comments on some of these posts are just really great. I think some of them are just great. Oh, let's see. What else we got in the news here? Oh, and there's this guy. Oh, this guy. What he thinks about the American flag. What do you think? What do you think he thinks about the American flag? Let's
yeah, yous don't get it. Yous want to know how I feel about this flag right here? Yous just don't get it. You want to see how I feel about this flag? Bet. I'm going to show you right now how I feel about this flag. You heard? How I feel about this flag right here. This flag, you want to see how I feel about this flag right here? I pledge allegiance to this flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. America, baby. Yes,
I
yous
agree.
don't get it.
I agree. What did you think? Did you think that was going to be, I started watching that video and I assumed it was going to be an anti-America video. And I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have thought that. I just did because he looks angry and he's holding the flag and whatever. So I just assumed, and you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. I see Iranians have taken to the streets. enough of the IRGC's thugs have been taken out that they're out there in the streets now celebrating. This is pretty exciting. Assuming that's where it's from. You never know. I assume that is Iran, but who knows? There's been so much fake stuff where none of us are immune anymore. None of us are immune to it anymore. I did see this interesting post today, which makes a lot of sense from Matt Von Swole. He says, there was never a housing problem. There was an illegal immigration problem. There was never a debt problem. There was a fraud problem. There was never a border problem. It's over here. There was never a border problem. There was an enforcement problem. There was never a crime problem. There was a prosecution problem. There was never a homelessness problem. There was a fraudulent NGO problem. There was never a failing school system problem. There was an indoctrination problem. There was never a funding problem. There was a theft problem. There was never a healthcare affordability problem. There was an illegal alien freeload problem. There was never an American dream problem. There was a Democrat problem. Is he wrong? I don't think any of that's wrong. I think a lot of that's spot on. Someone sent me this. I thought it was pretty good, so we're going to watch it. Because Senator Kennedy is pretty good. Banger from Senator John Kennedy. This is a cup of Starbucks coffee. I checked, etc., etc. Let's pull this up because, anything from Senator Kennedy is almost always entertaining. So let's go and see what he's doing today.
This is a cup of Starbucks coffee. I know that doesn't give you any frame of reference, but I checked the most popular Starbucks coffee drink is a caramel macchiato. Caramel macchiato. Now, I don't know what that is. I haven't had it. I generally don't drink coffee that takes 10 or more words to order. But I'm told that Starbucks' most popular drink is the caramel macchiato. It will cost you at Union Station. Here is.
Come on, Kennedy, pick it up.
A macchiato cup.
Oops.
From Starbucks. I'm told it will cost you $6.88 to buy large caramel macchiato at Union Station. Now, again, I'm not telling people what to drink or how to spend their money, but I will tell you, if you want to come by my office, you can get coffee for free.
Yay.
Caramel macchiato, but it's pretty dang good coffee. But be that as it may. So I said, I've got to look into what's in a caramel macchiato. Here's what's in a caramel macchiato. Milk, brewed espresso, vanilla syrup. I didn't know what vanilla syrup was. I found out that vanilla syrup is sugar, water, natural flavors, potassium sorbate, and citric acid.
Yummy. Sounds delicious.
Also in a caramel macchiato is caramel sauce. Makes sense. That's why they call it a caramel macchiato. Caramel sauce is sugar, corn syrup, butter, cream, milk, and salt. Also in a caramel macchiato is water, heavy cream, non-fat, dry milk.
Well, that wasn't very interesting. I thought it was a funnier clip. I must have got the wrong one. Well, you get the idea. Starbucks sucks. That's pretty much it. Let's just go with that. Man. So I don't know what to make of the whole Trump thing. I don't know what to make of all that stuff, but I do have a question as to why this story isn't being covered more. I'm gonna put this on here. This is just remarkable that we're
It
not
came
seeing
down
more of
to,
this.
we knew that we had to get help because we didn't have enough personnel to hit this many locations at the same time all throughout Southern California. All of the kids had something to do with Riverside County. They were missing from Riverside County.
More than 50 missing minors were identified and 37 of them were rescued. 10 people were arrested. And according to the sheriff, there are no pictures, no video of this operation because of the sensitivity of the crime. But the sheriff tells me that all of these missing children, they were found in Northern California, Nevada, and Arizona.
So the way human trafficking works and why we're unique is, I don't want to say it's easy to locate in other places, but in the prostitution realm, in the human trafficking, the sex trafficking realm, there are things called blades. And a blade is like Figueroa Street in Los Angeles. We don't have one. So that's what makes it unique for us. We don't have one of those locations. Our sex trafficking is through hotels or events or things like that, apps online.
On average, the department says about 6,000 children in the county go missing every year. The majority of them return home safe, even those connected to human trafficking cases, according to the sheriff, all thanks to the public's help.
We want license plate numbers. We want descriptions. If you can take pictures, we want pictures. And we follow up on every lead because you never know what we're going.
So there were 37 kids found, and I haven't seen it on the news. I haven't seen it on the news. Have you?
It came down to
I've only seen it on X.
I don't see anybody talking about this. 37 missing children were just rescued and discovered in a Riverside County home. 37 were recovered, but more than 50 were identified, and they're between the ages of 14 and 17 who had been gone anywhere from 1 month to 2 years. The federal agencies that took part in this was the United States Marshal Service, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Homeland Security, and the United States Secret Service. The operation also resulted in 7 arrests, including a federal arrest for child sex trafficking carried out by Homeland Security investigation. Here's the state and local partners that participated in this rescue. And the location of the home that the children were found and rescued in is a home in Hump, California. Now, I have a lot of questions here, okay? Where are the families? This is 37 children, more than 50 identified. Where are their families? Why isn't anybody talking about this, especially the news? How did these children end up in the hands of these people running this operation? What states were they taken from and relocated to Hump, California? I just have so many questions about this, and there are very few answers online.
We knew that we had to.
You can't clench.
You can't clench onto the Epstein files to shield Trump, then go around and say you care about human trafficking.
Wrong.
All that comment tells me is that you listen to all the narratives. I've done a good bit of research into the Epstein files, as much as, you know, probably a lot more than any average person. I didn't see anything in there about him. Nothing's come out over the last 10 years about him. Why do they ignore all that stuff? Why is it accusations are cool and solid against a conservative, but if you accuse the left, well, they're just accusations. That's just accusations. It's not important. It's not important. Why I don't understand what's the difference? Then people will post things like,
Every single day, he embarrasses the United States.
but those people were the same people that voted for Joe Biden and that would have voted for Kamala Harris or did. I mean, they'll say that Trump embarrasses America. But Biden would just wander the frick off. He would just wander off. the leader of the free world, didn't know what side of the stage to get off of, was shaking hands with nobody, was tripping up the stairs, was weak in front of Putin, invited that whole thing to happen. He invited Russia into Ukraine. How can people... subversion is the only thing I can think of that would get people to be that. Otherwise I don't get it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Oh, here we go.
MAGA has no principles. They sold their principles to blind communist-style patriots. What? Blind communist-style patriotism. Okay.
I don't know what that even means. As if the founders didn't already warn us all that this was going to happen if we didn't keep governments in check. Yep, we're supposed to be an informed public. I say it all the time. There's a quote. I forget which one it is now, so I'm going to have to look. But there's a quote right there in my video right now that you can look at. Hang on now. Don't talk back. Don't talk back. Where'd it go? Well, dang it. I thought I had it in there. Anyway, it's the quote about an informed public. We are to be an informed public. I think this guy is also paid and sounded by Israel. Oh, okay. All right. I don't know about that, but whatever. So, home rule. National Guard troops engaging teens in DC's Navy Yard and letting them sit in Humvees. One teen remarked, "Last time I was here, there was a shooting. Hopefully, this new law and order inspires kids to choose a better path." Now, I don't know if this is Nick Sorter's video or if he just took someone else's video and put his logo on top of it, because that's what he does, but whatever. It's nice. Letting them look at it. Checking out the Humvee. It's awesome. It's great. Look at them. It's beautiful. That's what it should be. This is nice to see that, you know. That's way better than what happened there later that very night. A large crowd of teenagers outside the Navy Yard metro station in Washington, D.C. has gathered once again, starting fights with members of the National Guard. A massive police response in the D.C. Navy Yard neighborhood as a result. These are National Guard members here mixed in with the crowd. What? A lot of police presence. I don't know. I don't think if I was that age, I'd be quote unquote fighting with the National Guard. Where are we at? Where'd the last one go? There's one more video. Numerous law enforcement officers respond to the Navy Yard area in Washington, D.C. after reports of shots fired as dozens of students run. Pull that up. Yeah, I don't know. If you can't see that, they're stomping someone on the ground right there. Somebody laying on the ground just covering up, and a bunch of animals are around him, kicking him in the head, whatever. This is in DC. Where's the police? Where's the National Guard? What's happening? Ooh, kids, what are you doing out there, children? What are you doing out there? And this came across my desk. This one came across my desk. Let's get a couple comments out of the way. President Donald Trump is outstanding. Animal consumption is bad for your health, huh? Prove it. Name one time in history we've ever kept the United States government in check. Right? I mean, I agree. I guess you could say Vietnam when they got them pulled out of there. What is this? I don't know how to answer that question. We're just here. It's just here. Martha Lizeth Mejia Zuniga was arrested for possession distribution of child sex abuse materials after hundreds of obscene photos and videos of multiple children were discovered in her possession, including at least one of her own children. Barbaric. Following her 2024 conviction, her 4-year sentence was deferred and she was released. They arrested her again while Steven Crowder was doing a ride along.
How's she get that far that quick? If anything, pull it over for speeding.
Yeah.
Got it over here. Yeah. All right. Don't film the stair guy.
I agree. I need context on it. Good morning.
So, what makes a mother take pictures like that?
I'm sorry. No,
No English? Pictures. Was it pornografía? Is that what you say in Spanish? Pornography of children.
Tus niños.
What makes a mom? Your madre, right? You're a mother.
¿De mis niños?
You're a mother. Yeah, you're a mother.
Tengo 4 niños acá.
Yeah. So what would make a mother take pornographic pictures of her children like that?
Lo siento, no entiendo.
¿Qué motiva a una mamá a tomar fotografías pornográficas de sus hijos?
No tengo fotos pornográficas de mis niños.
No, you haven't done it?
She doesn't have
No, you don't know anything about it?
No WhatsApp.
No WhatsApp?
No,
No WhatsApp.
no tengo fotos de mis niños. Tengo fotos normales de mis niños.
No. No regrets?
¿No se arrepiente de algo que haya hecho mal?
No he hecho nada malo.
She says she hasn't done anything wrong.
You know, we have the pictures, right?
Tengo fotos. No entiendo.
How long have you been in America?
¿Cuánto tiempo llevan en Estados Unidos?
La verdad prefiero contestar con mi abogado.
She prefers to talk to a lawyer.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I don't know. There's so much going on. You got fraud in California. You got this, you got that. It just never seems to end of what's going on in the thing. That's why you can't keep track of it all. And you don't even try. Don't even give it a shot. There's no point in even giving it a shot. It's not going to work out in your favor. What is this? Oh. While President Trump is Trump is dealing with Venezuela, Iran, and Cuba. Drunk Kamala Harris is hanging out with drag queen Kamala impersonators. Thank God the adults are back in charge. Oh my goodness. What are we doing? Man, thank God she lost.
Let me be very clear. It's nice to finally meet me. I need you to know, right? This is all for you. This is because of the love and the light and the joy that you put in me, and I take that and I give to millions around this world to be a light in the darkness. People that love you.
What does that even mean?
More because
what does that mean? What does that even mean?
Put in me, and I take that and I give to millions around this world to be a light in the darkness.
A light in the darkness by dressing up as Kamala Harris. By tucking your stuff and dressing up like Kamala Harris is a light in the darkness.
People that love you more because of what I do, and those who don't love you learn to love you because of what I do. So I carry you with so much respect and love and dignity and pride. And I'm not here alone, by the way. My fans and my family and people at home that love you are here with me to let you know thank you. We love you. Thank you for the fight. We're sorry the patriarchy sucks, but thank you for the fight, and we love you.
I know of your work and your voice and the energy and the thought that you put into it, and you bring people so much joy, knowing clear-eyed what we're up against, but giving people a way to laugh at themselves and each other. And me.
Yeah. We have to, because to be clear, these motherfuckers are crazy.
Somebody said that recently.
I think someone did. You and me, or maybe both.
Yes, they are crazy. Those two people on the screen are crazy. That's crazy.
You look so good. I love that too.
Green and pink.
And the flowers and yes. And
You like my bow?
And your pearls.
That's it. I had to be here.
Well, she's always drunk.
You take care of yourself.
Thank you.
What? I apologize, but as a man, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get how any man is going to be like, you know what? I totally should dress up like Kamala Harris and act like I'm Kamala Harris. And that's going to bring hope and light to people all across the world. And you really believe that crap? Agent Gavin Newsom parole board has granted early parole to convicted child molester Gregory Volsang, and he could be released as soon as tomorrow. Convicted of abusing at least 6 boys between the ages of 5 and 11, and was sentenced to over 350 years in prison. Disturbingly, psychological evaluations found he remained sexually attracted to young boys. As recently as 2020, he admitted to ongoing fantasies about children. He was assessed as a higher risk than 80% of other sex offenders. Despite this, the Board of Parole Hearings approved his release. What?
Assaulted.
Put this up real quick. See what this is all about here.
While the parole board is at it again, this is what they are doing. Inmate Gregory Volsang, in the mid-1990s, molested 6 different young boys between the ages of 5 and 11. A jury convicted him of 27 different charges, and a judge sentenced him to life. In fact, a judge sentenced him to 355 years to life. And the parole board is at it again, because the parole board recently agreed to parole him, to let him out of prison when he is only 56 years old, after serving only 27 years of a 355 to life sentence, after he molested, after he kidnapped, after he forcibly sexually assaulted 6 young boys between the ages of 5 and 11. And let me give you some insight into what this inmate said at the parole hearing. During his parole hearing, the inmate specifically said,
listen now,
you have to stop masturbating to images of child in your mind or real child pornography. because that leads to molestation, and molestation leads to kidnapping, and the kidnapping leads ultimately to the murder of a child. This inmate had a risk assessment that was above average for reoffending, and yet the parole board is letting him out.
It's unbelievable.
This inmate admitted while in custody to masturbating to images in his mind of naked children, and yet the parole board is letting him out. This inmate will molest again, and yet this parole board is letting him out.
There is going to be some kid out there that falls victim to this person. They're sentencing some child or children out there to this person. They're sentencing a child right now. That's what this is.
They're letting him out under one of the most horrible, unjust laws.
The left looked at this like it's compassion. Let him out. Let him out. It's not compassionate to hold him. He's a victim of his own sexual whatever's, yada, 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 yada. That's the left. Their compassion gets people hurt, oft, all that stuff. Their policies get people hurt. Same thing's going on with that kid in Virginia, or I'm sorry, adult in Virginia that they put in a high school that was groping children.
Molest again, and yet this parole board is letting him out. And they're letting him out under one of the most horrible, unjust laws that we have in the state of California, elder parole. This law affords people such as child molesters like Vogelsang out of custody after molesting little children, after posing a threat. So what do we need to do? We're here today for a call to action. Because he was granted parole, and my office fought it every single step of the way.
No, this
we have
that's
now
on the Trump
requested
pardon. No.
that decision
That was just what triggered person in the chat that still talks about JSEC.
be reviewed in banc by the entire parole board. And that hearing, that in banc hearing, is going to be next Wednesday on March the 18th. And so we are asking people right now to attend that hearing. It's going to be at 1515 K Street, Suite 550. And we're asking people to show up. We're asking people to show up to make a comment. We're also asking people to call in to 916-267-0857 and follow the prompts to leave a message. And people could also send as well an email and submit a statement opposing the release of this child molester, this sexual predator who will molest again. And what we frankly need to do right now is change the law.
It's government's job to protect the people. That's their most basic job. Safety. These kind of decisions destroy innocent people's lives.
Elder parole was first passed in 2017 and then passed again and modified in 2020. And we need to change the law because we cannot let these sexual predators out again. This is but another example. And to be honest with you, I have a list of 5 other child molesters who are going to be up for parole. And if this law stands, and if we don't stop this inmate, this sexual predator from being released, those other predators will be released as well. So it's time to stand up for our children because at the end of the day, a society is judged by what it chooses to protect. And if we are unwilling to protect our children, if the legislature is unwilling to do that, if the parole board is unwilling to protect our children, then we must protect our children against these predators.
You think that would be common sense? Biden or Obama didn't close the strait or lift sanctions on Russia. Shaking my head. Okay. Cool, bro. Trump didn't close it either. What are you talking about? Like what? The government isn't responsible for providing health care. Yes, correct.
Shut up.
Oh no, wrong one.
These people are crazy.
Whatever. They are though. Another Obama F up. Obamacare gave the insurance companies license to steal. 100%. 100%.
Are you sure there are no victims of you? Are you sure there's no victims of you?
Yes, I'm almost positive. Oh, wait.
You look like you have victims. Oh, Mags won't admit the pardon abusers.
Mags won't admit the pardon abusers. What do you mean admit the pardon abusers? These narratives of the people that like were anti J6 and whatever, all those people out there that listen to all the narratives and believe all the garbage they heard about that. They always have, it's a very simplistic tactic, guys. So when we were back down there and we were standing on the corner outside the jail, you know, on Freedom Corner, hashtag Freedom Corner, they would attack us and they would be like, hey, this one specific J6er has these horrible charges in the past and blah, blah, blah. He's done horrible things. How can you support that? But that's the simplistic, that's that leftist angle. That's that leftist way of thinking. How can you support that? And, you know, you go back and you reply, tell people, don't reply to that garbage. Don't get drugged down that hole where you're trying to defend one man's personal decisions. No, we're not here for that. I don't defend everybody's actions. I'm not saying that all J6ers are good people. I've never said that. So getting caught up or trapped into one of those silly traps of trying to defend that there's the pardoned abusers of, you know, J6 abusers, people that have gone to jail after that, whatever. I don't defend any of those people. The only reason I was involved in the J6 thing was because I wanted those people to have their constitutional rights that they didn't have. And I wanted people to wake up to the fact that our government hates us and that thing was a damn setup. That's why I was involved in it. That's why I was watching out countless hours of video and doing a lot of work behind the scenes to find certain things. That's why I put out the Gadsden memorandum that I got from the that was leaked out of the DC jail. I admit that there's bad people out there. What no one says that there aren't. I'm not saying every J6. No one says that. That's the left's way of getting other people to disagree with us or not listen to us by saying that, oh, they defend all the J6ers. That means they defend this guy who was a child molester and this guy who did this or whatever. That's not the case. That's an easy way for you to try to make an argument and turn people against us, but that's not reality. If you're not trying to get coverage of the Epstein files, don't pretend to want to protect children. What a stupid statement that is. I know that it's the narrative on the left that the right doesn't care about the Epstein files and they don't want it released. And it's a big hide. It's a big retracted psyop to try to cover up and save whatever. I don't even understand all of it anymore. I don't understand how the left can think that way. I spent a lot of time in the Epstein files as well, hours and hours and hours in there, researching it and doing that kind of stuff and trying to get that out there. We've had many shows about it, actually. I'm not sure exactly what you need me to do. I don't really have any power. I'm just some guy on the internet. That's it. Name the names. Who took you to the Capitol on J6? Name the names who took. No one took me to the Capitol on J6. I wasn't at the Capitol on J6. I was going to be, but I decided against it because I had to take my company vehicle if I had to go, and I didn't want to risk that. As a matter of fact, it was about 2:30 in the afternoon, right around the time that Ashley Babbitt was shot, was when I created MagAmericans.com. I felt like I needed to do something, get some kind of word out. I don't know what I was doing. I just felt like I needed to do something. If you're not against MAGA already, then you're either comically evil, or actually lobotomized. Do you really believe that? Like, do you really think that? Like, that's what you really think? Because that's what you really think, man. You've been subverted further along than most people. That's incredible. If you really think that MAGA is either comically evil, I'm not sure what comically evil means, but comically evil or actually lobotomized. You know, the left, I say this all the time, maybe you might want to listen up. The right says that the left thinks the left is crazy or stupid. Let's go with that. Stupid. The left thinks the right is evil. Now, what's the difference? Stupidity doesn't shut down conversation. If you think another person is evil, that shuts down conversation. No one's going to have a conversation with anyone who they believe is evil. That's the tactic right there. Get them to shut it down. You won't listen to anything anyone has to say on the right because you've been trained that they're either evil or lobotomized. So either evil or crazy. That's so sad. That's so sad that you could fall for such a simple trick to hate a whole group of people just because of what they believe about a certain issue or whatever, and to lump them all together in some big group like that. Man, you're just really good. Good job on the subverted. That's amazing. You've been really susceptible to it. That's just great. You've gone very far in that, and eventually you might reach middle management of the left, where you get to tell people on the street where to go protest, and you can hand out their $5 and stuff like that. You said you were involved. I see you don't do any research whatsoever, so that's all right. No, I said I was involved in the stuff after it, the trying to get their constitutional rights and going down to the Freedom Corner, and I was one of the ones that went in on the very first trip inside the jail whenever we got the prisoners the ability to have visits again, whenever we had those reinstated. I was involved there. I was involved. I went in and visited. I'd call Mickey now if I wanted to, but like, I was involved. I didn't say I was involved in J6 on that actual day. So research is important to people that care about the truth, you know, but the people that don't, and I guess it is what it is. I have to read this one because it starts with maggots. So it must be an intelligent. I'm not even going to read it, and I can tell you this is probably going to be one of the most intelligent comments we have seen all last 30 seconds.
Maggots don't have the decency to admit you're wrong. Your J6 parallel argument doesn't hold water. Isn't it funny how all racists love Trump? That's not a left-right thing. That's straight up racist.
I am amazed that you managed to get those all typed in the right, correct order with no typos. That was good. That was good. Maggots. Maggots. You know, when you talk like that, like, I know that you think it sounds like, oh, I'm going to get them, I'm going to call them maggots. That's going to make them all mad and stuff. We don't care. When you say stuff like that, we look at you and we either laugh at you or we pity you, because you have demonstrated that you are a puppet, you see, by saying things like that and by speaking in absolutes, like how all racists, you said all racists love Trump. All of them. What a moronic statement. You shouldn't speak in absolutes. So what you did there was, you might have had a point you wanted to get across, which was that whole J6 parallel argument doesn't hold water thing. But I noticed you didn't put any points in there to back up your point that the J6 parallel argument doesn't hold any water. And you surrounded it with insults, with the maggots and no decency, and then the racists love Trump and that kind of thing. So all you really did was show us how subverted, or how, I don't want to use the word, but I'm going to go ahead and use it, how dumb you are. How you suck up the Kool-Aid and just drink it all down. I don't think everyone on the left is a whatever the version of maggot would be for the other side. I don't think that. I don't know anyone who thinks that. Do you ever look inward and wonder why you think that? Like, why you believe a whole whole group of people are racists. Do you ever look at it, ever ask yourself any questions? That requires a little bit of critical thinking. That is very rare. It's very rare. You don't find that every day. That's the truth. Let's just, there's a lot. I'm going to go back down to the bottom. Projecting. You look like your beard smells like ass. It doesn't, I guess. Is that what I'm supposed to be like? No, it doesn't smell like shit. I put oil in it and stuff. I take care of it. I'll wash it and condition it and stuff. It doesn't smell like, don't say that. Like, is that where I'm supposed to be like that? Man, what a child. What a child. Yes, that is a moronic statement, but MAGA are the real cult following puppets. Oh, God. There are puppets on the left and on the right. There's puppets on both sides. It's all right. We can admit it. I just don't. That's one of the most disheartening things to me is that how an American can write off so many other Americans just because someone else told them to. That's what it is. Your group told you to, so now you won't. You write them all off. You won't listen to them. Whatever. Simpsons. Even if you love Trump, you have to admit he is an uncomfortable shade of orange. I was just commenting the other day, he doesn't look as orange as he used to. I noticed that the other day. My wife and I were talking about it. Obama had a higher approval rating also. Also a higher than what? I think Trump's is actually higher than Obama's was at this point in his presidency. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. You're supposed to say, yep, your mom's. Typically manly men crying about insults. Yeah, I don't cry about insults. I've been at this a long time. I've sucked up a lot of insults, guys. I've had a lot of insults thrown my way, a lot of abuse, a lot of that stuff. I've paid a price, yada, 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 yada. Point is, insults and things like that, they don't scare me. These clowns out here on the streets, they don't scare me. There's no, get out of here. There is a whole lot of intelligence in here this morning because you're here. Thank you for bringing some intelligence to the chat.
These people are crazy.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. What do you look for in a man? I don't know. I guess patriotism and a good Christian faith. Yeah, it is kind of a messed up look. Trump must have a new stylist. He is less orange and his hair color is much better this term. I agree. It looks more natural, that's for sure. Oh, you're cherry picking different numbers. No, I said at this point in the term, not the overall one. Trump's not been done yet, right? So that wouldn't be a fair comparison. But then there would be a fair comparison because you're not interested in the comparison. You're interested in the result, right? Right. So you can influence people. First generation. Okay, I told her looking fabulous. Where's that one? This was an interesting. Came across it. It's about being puppets. And Kelly, and you got Tucker Carlson. I don't know if I agree with the video. I just thought it was interesting. Candace Owens.
Welcome to the late night circus, where you could be a freak on purpose. Under the sheets, you
False flag.
Fake bombing. It's facade. We must stand united against the oppressors. Our cause is just. We will prevail. Join us in this holy struggle.
Fuck Israel. Fuck Israel. Fuck Israel.
It's almost demonic. This kind of creepy. AI is nuts.
I am the voice of the people. You will listen. The strings of oppression will be cut. We will rise up against the puppet masters. Freedom is our destiny. Unshackle us! Say it. Fuck Israel. Fuck Israel. Fuck Israel. We will fight for our freedom. No more oppression. Our voices will be heard. Join the struggle. Victory is near.
Fuck Israel. Praise Allah and take out the infidels at all costs. Whoa. It's the only way to fight oppression.
Welcome to the late night circus, where you can be a freak on purpose. Under the sheet, you know I'm lurking, you know me. Do you like what you see?
Interesting anyway. Mags, do you believe in indigenous sovereignty? No, I don't really. No. You're talking about the American Indians. They were conquered. Nope, I certainly do not. Sorry to say. Just like they didn't for the other tribes that they conquered, whatever tribe you might be talking about. Obama isn't on the Epstein list like Trump. Okay, great. Great. Trump's not in there for anything crazy. So far, so good, right? One more of these. Hey, Mags, do you believe in white supremacists? Do I believe in white supremacists? Like that they exist? Yeah, I suppose I believe they exist. You're gonna have to do a super chat if you're gonna want me to answer another one. I've been giving you a little bit more attention than you might deserve. Let's see. All right. Obama is on the Epstein list. Well, let's find out right now. We can find out right now. Let's check it out. Let's see. We'll search it live right here on the air. Come on, bring up the website. Let's go. Why isn't it bringing it up? Well, I don't know. Just getting a circle going around and around and around. I actually believe he was in the Epstein files a couple hundred times, but nothing crazy. It was just that people mentioned him. They could be other people emailing each other about you, and it would do that. I think white supremacy exists in America, but I don't think they are good people. Agreed. I think the idea of that was trying to get me to say I believe in white supremacy because he was trying to pin me he was trying to get me to slip up, I think. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. So I don't really know. Who cares? I've been getting smashed at work and unable to join you guys in the morning. I miss you. I was going to hit you up yesterday and ask you about, how everything was going. I'll touch base a little bit later. Hope everything is going good. He absolutely fits the profile of a white supremacist. But you see how short my hair is. Oh, that must mean he's a white supremacist. He shaved his head. When I had my last construction company, I had a guy that came to work for me. I've told this story before, but I think it's kind of funny. This guy came to work for me and he was a black guy and he was whatever. So he shows up to his first day. I'm up on a roof. He climbs right up on that roof, gets right to work. He ends up being the greatest worker I've ever had, like by far. Best employee I ever had by far. And so he works, whatever. And about a year later, I asked him, we're good friends at that point and working together and all that. And I asked him, I said, hey man, I said, be honest. Hey, when you met me, when you first saw me, do you think I was racist? And he was like, yeah, I did. I was like, oh, that's fair. Okay. So I get it. Why you look at me and go, he looks like he fits the profile of being a racist. But I've been cleared by a black person for not being racist. So there, I'll have to find my card. It's somewhere here. I think it's right here somewhere. But yeah, that guy was the greatest worker I ever had. He was great. I agree. I think he was an honorable man. I think he definitely would have been president one day. I think 100%. Yeah, maybe you should ask Obama's chef about his backdoor behavior. Oh, that's right. He went swimming. Yeah. He looks more like a Charlottesville Nazi and less like a German Nazi. Do you still believe the Charlottesville Nazi the narrative? Do you still believe that narrative? Is that what you believe that Trump said there's good people on both sides? Is that where you're okay? That's what I figured. That's what I figured. You definitely are racist. The profile of a white supremacist is just being white, apparently. Yes, it is. Ding, 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 ding. You are correct, sir. You are correct, sir. Man, even to you haters out there.
We love you all.
We do.
Love you.
We do love you. The profile of a white supremacist. You know, when I was in high school, I did the white supremacy thing for about 3 months. And I remember my mother, because I just wanted to hang out with these kids, is what it was. And I remember my mother she said, "You're racist?" She said, "If you're racist, that means that you think God made a mistake." And it made me go, wait a second. I'm certainly not saying that. And then it got me right out of there. That wasn't really a white supremacist. I just wanted to hang out with these other kids that I thought were cool. You know how it is. It was like 3 weeks before that, I was wearing a peace sign at school. You're just trying to find yourself then, like 8th grade or something. Crockett's bodyguard. Yeah. I have not brought that up yet. That's an interesting situation. That's for sure. I had a thing queued up on it. I'm not sure where I put it. Oh. Let's see if this has it. Oh. Apparently, there's the video of the standoff with Jasmine Crockett's security. One of her main security people was here's the video. I don't know if it's graphic or what, but maybe we shouldn't play it. Yeah, maybe we'll leave it off. Anyway, he was shot in a car. I guess he raised his gun. I'm gonna bring up the story here. The man who worked security for Representative Jasmine Crockett was killed in a standoff with SWAT last week, accused of impersonating. Playing again. Stop it! I am not buying a Range Rover. Although the Congresswoman is defending him, saying his criminal history does not include any violent offenses, the suspect, who is identified as Diamond Mazarine Robertson, was 39 and shot and killed by Dallas police. SWAT officers on Wednesday had barricaded himself inside a vehicle in the garage of a children's hospital after Dallas police officers tracked him while investigating an active warrant. Police deployed tear gas to force him out before the suspect exited the vehicle and pointed a gun at officers, leading officers to shoot him. The suspect did not fire his gun, and no officers were injured. Dash cam footage of the incident at Children's Medical Center was released on Monday, so you can see that, but I'm not going to play it. Yeah, essentially it was some high-level. Carr came to the defense of a former security guard, releasing a statement on Monday saying her office was unable to find any violent offenses and he has limited criminal history. We are saddened and shocked by some of the concerning revelations. Our team followed all protocols outlined by the House to contract additional security. We were approved to use this vendor, who also provides security services for additional entities in the local community and work closely with law enforcement agencies, including Capitol Police. The Congresswoman said the fact that an individual was able to somehow circumvent the vetting processes for something as sensitive as security for members of Congress highlights the loopholes and shortcomings in many of our systems. So she's blaming the systems. It's the system's fault. He was a 4-time felon. Wow. I'll have to get a video put together on that. That's an interesting one. Four-time felon. Where are we at here? Oh, yeah, a little fighting going on in the chat. Stop that. Stop that fighting. All right. With that note, don't forget, because it's important that you remember, don't forget that tomorrow is Thursday night. And Thursday night is where we got our start. Thursday night, live with Mags and Faith. Faith will be here too. Yeah. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will see you here. I want you to do two things today. I want you to smile at one stranger. Just smile at one stranger. Doesn't matter where they fall. Doesn't matter if they're liberal or Democrat. Just smile. And I want you to pray for your enemies because they need it. And you need it too. It's hump day. It's almost over. But yeah, we'll see you tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out MagAmericans.com for more links and links and information. And we will see you back here at 9 o'clock tomorrow night. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for spending some of your morning with us. You're appreciated. And hopefully we'll see you Thursday night for Thursday Night Live. God bless you guys. Have a great day.